Hello everyone. I think we're about to get started. Welcome to Meet the Maker. This is the Elf City session, one I know you've all been waiting for. Okay, on stage we have Mod Rowley, our content developer. Mod Hunter, hands up please folks, content developer. Our senior modeler, not model, Mod Alex R. Our principal artist, Mod Ante, is how you say your mod name. We have our lead QA tester, Mod Stacey, and our other QA tester, Mod Giara. Show these guys some love. I'm Mod Fuzzlet. This is Mod's, oh, please turn around, I can't remember your mod name.
Mod French.
Mod French, we just call him Mod French. We're going to be passing this mic around so you guys can ask questions. If I could just ask you to make sure you keep it just one question at a time. We can bounce it back to you, but just to make it fair on everybody, don't hog the mic. So, just to get started, I know this is about Elf City, but could you guys tell us a little bit about all the other projects that you've worked on, starting with Mod Hunter? I'm sorry, you have to share the mic.
So, hi everyone, I'm Mod Hunter. I've been at Jagex for about 5 years now. I've been in content for 2 of those. And before that, I was a player for a good 5 years. And I joined Jagex when I was rank 5 in the overall high score, so I've been around for a long time. In terms of content I've worked on, recently I've done the grouping system, Calfight King, and the newest tutorial. At the moment, I'm doing Elf City Batch 2, and I'm working on the Melia and Dungeoneering clan, which is Herblow and Dungeoneering. So that's all for me. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello guys, I'm Mod Ante. I'm the principal artist on the RuneScape team. I do concept art and I do character art, character models. I've been with the company for 4.6 years, I would say.
Precise.
Yeah. Couple of weeks more or less, something like that. Yeah, I've been working on the Elf quest since the beginning. I did quite a lot on designing them. So if you have any issues, I'm the one to blame, pretty much. And I modeled quite a lot on the Elf project as well. I spent at least 4 months, I think, 4, 5. I started much earlier than you guys. Yeah. Several months on Elf, on the Elf quest and the Elf City. At the moment, I'm working in monetization, and I've been working on like almost everything, pretty much everything. So every kind of character update or whenever we just added any new type of character to the game, it's very, very likely that it can be related to me. So yeah, everything character related, just fire at me.
Nice. Hi guys, I'm Mod Alex. I'm a senior environment artist. I've pretty much done most of the Elf City. It's been my life since about February. I've been at Jagex, I won't be quite as precise as you, about 7.5 years. In fact, I might have been here the longest. Of everyone here? Maybe. I don't know. I've worked on quite a few projects in that time. Player imports, Darkmire, the Wilderness Update, the Gnome Tree. So if you hate the look of any of them, it's probably my fault.
Not just probably.
Hey, thanks for that. Anything environment, ask me. It's absolutely cool.
Hi all, I'm Stacey. I have been in Jagex for coming up to 5 years, QA 4 years. And next week I get my 10-year vet cape, so I'm a long-term player. I've worked on numerous projects, small, large, some of the small ones, things like Money Pouch, Potion Flasks, etc. Big updates have been ports, Clan Citadels, and Elf City.
Hi all, I'm Mod Rowley. Sorry Alex, I beat you. I've been 8.5 years at Jagex. First 5 years I worked on the web team, writing, editing content, then switched to the content developer role, probably best known for the Ozan double bill Fate of the Gods, if anyone's played that. And for the Elf City, I worked on the Iworth clan and the Max Guild, and then little bits all over the place, really.
Hey everyone, I'm Giara. I've been in QA for 2 and a bit years. I've worked on Birthright of the Dwarves. I was QA lead on the Elf Quest for Plague's End, and I've been working on the city a lot recently. Yeah. What else have I done? I did Slayer Tower, I did the Ascension Dungeon, and various other bits and bobs all over the place.
Awesome. Right, we're going to open the floor for questions. Who wants to go first?
Do you think we'll get anything to do with the crystal cow that Mod Osborne wanted?
Yes.
I don't know the details of this.
Yeah, we're not going to go into details. You can find out about that with batch 2.
I recognize the time and resources it takes, but is it possible that in the Tower of Voices, the Memoriam Crystal dialogue will get a voiceover as some of the Saren crystals had in Fate of the Gods in batch 2 or sometime in the future?
It's something personally I would really like to, hear, not see. The reason we haven't done it initially is because there are still more crystals to come. And logistically speaking, it makes a lot more sense to record something like that as one batch. It's something we're still looking into, and possibly we will be doing, but it's not determined at this time. But fingers crossed, we'll do it, but we'll see.
Next question.
How do you feel the XP rates are for Elf City? Because I mean, when it came out, a lot of the time when I first went in there, a lot of my clan was saying they thought the rates were quite high. Do you guys feel it's balanced well enough, or do you think XP rates are?
That sounds like a balancing question, but Timbo's gone now. Do QI guys?
Yeah. We compare a lot of in-game current content. We look at levels, what you currently get. The likes of pickpocketing, it's actually lower than other places, but it's easier. So there are many factors taken into account when it comes to balancing.
Who's next? We must have some questions. Whoa.
How come the crystal tree didn't have a chop option on it?
You mean like why the one in the city isn't like the rest of the ones in the world? Yeah.
It's not like the others. It's not in the rotation, or possibly a permanent crystal tree is sort of a thing that's a bonus of getting into the city.
Yeah, I mean this is an idea that we did consider, but I think we just wanted to do something a bit different with it, and we needed a way to come up with a high level, hard to get ingredient for potions, which is going to be something we're doing with batch 2. But the other reason being as well that a lot of players won't actually have access to Prifdinus, so putting it in with the normal rotation for crystal trees could be a bit unfair to them. I mean, obviously we could make it not go there, but then it's kind of, you want it to go there for the people who do have access. As for making it a permanent tree, it's just something you could do there outside of other crystal trees. That would kind of break the mechanic of how the crystal trees work, so we decided to go for the blossom.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, somebody towards the back?
Hi. Have you changed since the design document mentioned new potions? I was wondering, has there been any additions or changes since then?
Yeah, there's been quite a few changes and additions since the original design document. It would be really, really difficult and long to try and list them all, and I'd miss a lot if I tried to. It might still be on the forums in the future game updates. I'd made a topic. I think the title was Elf City Merlia Changes, something along those lines, which you might still be able to find, which lists a lot of changes that have been made to the potions, refinements and improvements, along with completely new potions that we've added as well.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next question? Yeah. The Seren in the Tower of Voices has quite a few objects which you can use on her to then get dialogue. Is there any more, objects or things you can do with her currently? And if so, any hints?
Well, it depends on what you found. Spoilers. Depends how many you found, but there is options to do more stuff in batch 2. If you have any suggestions, maybe some secret stuff, you don't know. Possibly.
I have a question for each of you.
Okay.
During development of Batch 1, first phase of the city, what has been the most difficult or most frustrating piece of content that you've had to develop or that you guys have had to test, and why? Starting with Mod Giara.
Batch 1.
Yeah, Batch 1. Oh, feel free to, well, maybe spoilers for Batch 2, but yeah, Batch 1. What was the thing that frustrated you the most, or was the most difficult to test in the development stage?
Probably the spirit tree.
And why?
I don't like growing spirit trees. They never grow properly for me.
Bad luck.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not really. It was all pretty good.
Good. You had a better time testing it than I did then.
Yeah. There shouldn't have been any bugs when it got to you.
Oh, no. I found a few.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't like testing Rush of Blood.
I didn't test that.
I know.
Luckily.
Okay. What, Rowley?
Rush of Blood.
Yes.
Mostly on the balancing front. It's very difficult to do something like that, and I know players obviously are still talking about it on the forums. We're still keeping an eye on it, and there are still going to be ways in the future that it's going to be made a bit easier if you're struggling with it, but I think we kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of the people who are top end and have top level gear, or not even top level gear, sorry, and they're finding it a challenge. So I think we did what we set out to do, but now we kind of just have to help other people to finish.
For me, it would have been balancing the thieving in Elf City. We had multiple design changes during that because of balancing issues, so you could basically pickpocket it and not get caught, and that wasn't the design intention, so we had to go through a few changes for that. And it was very time consuming.
Wow, okay. For me, it's got to be building a city over a crater, because that was not a smart decision in the long run. But I think it paid off in the end. It looks pretty good. But yeah, trying to get that sense of height out of a game engine that doesn't really like doing tall buildings very well was definitely a challenge, and took quite a lot of work. But it was worth it, definitely.
Well, I know I'm biased, but I think Elf City looks beautiful, so well done.
Thank you.
For our artists. What, Ante?
Yeah, good job on FCT. It really looks awesome. For myself, it's more on the character art side. It just basically when we started thinking about this project, and when we had the basic ideas, we were just went so crazy with the ideas, like how everything should look like, how the elf folk should look like. And yeah, it's just basically that we went crazy with the ideas, as it always happens. And in the end, you always end up less crazy. Well, like as the ideas go. And yeah, I think so. That's the thing for me, that I couldn't do everything what I wanted to do.
They had really crazy ears, didn't they, at the beginning?
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. That's that's one of the things what we wanted originally, to have them look like slightly more alien than they look like at the moment, because they are kind of aliens, and we were thinking of going very crazy. And the first bit of reference we had in mind was. Were the have you guys seen Prometheus? I guess you have seen Prometheus. So yeah, we were thinking of something like that. The engineer dudes, like resting in cryo sleep. We were thinking about something like that. Like we could have them look slightly more alien and less classical, like less Tolkien-esque, and then yeah, it was just tons of back and forth on the design, and we always had somebody being very unhappy with what we had, and it just went less and less crazy. And yeah, I'm not saying I'm not happy with them, because I'm quite happy with them, but yeah, they are not aliens. They are not Prometheus aliens, and I love that movie. Yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome, thank you, Mod Hunter.
Well, yeah, I loved Batch 1 development. I wasn't on it.
Yeah, easy answer for you.
Yeah. Well,
anything out of Batch 2
well,
that's
with Batch
frustrating
2,
without giving away any spoilers?
Batch 2 had to be all of the combination potions. There's just so many items to make and so many different things to use on each other. I'm sure you'll love it when it gets to you as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I will. I'm going to give that to somebody else to test. Right, okay, thank you guys. Good answers. Questions?
What's your favourite thing from Batch 2 and why?
Do we go along the line?
You start. You're right now.
Yeah, it's a good question, just trying to think of what is there. There's so much stuff. I'd like to say the combination potions, just because of how many I had to make, and it is quite an interesting selection. So yeah, I'm going to go with those.
Well, for me, I'm pretty much done on my part with the elf project. Unfortunately, I moved teams, so I'm in a different subgroup. I'm working in monetization at the moment, but we might be working on some nice looking items, nice looking player kits, outfits, armors, weapons, and that kind of stuff. And I might get the chance to go crazy.
It's definitely the agility course from Batch 2. I don't want to give too much away, because, yeah, a bit too much in spoiler territory there, but it's going to be epic, and it looks so cool. The animators have done a wicked job animating it, and it's not like any we've done before, definitely.
Mine is probably more a personal reason, would be the Motherload more, simply because it means I get my comp cape a bit easier. And then it would be my hidden title.
For me, it's how well the character of Seren seems to have come across and how she's been received. We were kind of a bit cagey about her, because she comes across with some really dark themes, and she seems to have been accepted, and a lot of people seem to like her still, which is great. And it's something I'm looking forward to developing more on with Batch 2.
It's definitely the Impling Collector and his crazy house he's got going on. There's some excellent environment pieces in there, and when you've managed to collect all the imps, he has this great dialogue with them, and he's sort of a bit like a crazy cat lady, but for imps.
Just before we move on, can you guys hear these guys all right? Yeah. Not really? You want a bit loud? Yeah, you need to... Yeah. You need to hold the mic like this. Yeah, a little bit closer so we can hear you. Question over here.
I can hear you.
Hi. In regards to the combination potions, will you be able to mix flasks? Just because I have a lot of flasks and not very many potions.
Not. Do you mean like 4-dosed flasks?
6-dose flasks.
Not at the moment. No. I think one of the NPCs around Uglogs has the option to convert flasks back to potions, which might be of use. If not, we might be able to look into adding something to allow that. But at the moment, having flasks as a secondary optional ingredient isn't something that's available.
And can you still change them into flasks once you've made them? The combination potions?
Yeah, the combination potions automatically go into crystal flasks, which are automatically 6-dosed as well.
Okay, awesome.
Question at the back.
Hey. Currently we have workers from 4 clans, but with batch 2 will there be workers which we can pickpocket from also? If yes, what will the level requirements be? And if so, will the cooldown timer be doubled or will it stay the same?
There are definitely workers for the other 4 clans. The intention of the design originally was that you would be able to go a complete circuit around the city and get all sort of 8. If you get locked out of one, you'd move on to the next and vice versa. I don't know the exact levels for each clan, but they're all sort of roughly the same or higher. Do you know the levels?
So the levels are going to be ranging from 91 to 98, I believe. Yeah, to fill in the gaps of what was already come in batch 1. And in terms of the lockout time, it's going to remain as it is for now, but we'll wait until batch 2's out for a bit and see how it's going.
So this one's a bit more of a lore question. So Saren's always been a kind of peaceful god, it seemed like, but then we've been starting to find out that she's sort of quite emotional and has almost a wrathful side, like when you show her the spoilers, when you show her the Shard of Zaros. Are you going to sort of develop that in story content, or is it like, what do you think of Saren as a character at the moment?
Well, personally, I think she's good, but I'm a bit biased on that one, I think. In the same way that we wanted to surprise players with the personality of Zaros, in that there's kind of this belief that he's evil and dark, and when you actually meet him, he's actually quite level and logical, and you can kind of get on with him. We wanted to mirror that with Seren, that there's this belief that she's really peaceful and good, and she is those things, but we wanted to give her a bit of a darker edge, because they are mirror images of each other, effectively. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to develop her character beyond batch 2. We do have the Memoriam crystals in batch 2, and I think some lore drops as well in the form of books, but what comes after that is anyone's guess at this point. We do have ideas, though.
Regarding the Inkling Codex in batch 2, there was a reward mentioned for an outfit. Is that still going to happen?
The Crystal Impling has an outfit that is extremely rare, and you catch them. I'm not sure if there's an outfit for the collecting all the imps.
Yeah, 'cause in the design document, I think there was something mentioned about it as one of the rewards.
If that's in the design document, then yeah, we'll make sure it gets looked at. Have you got it?
Yeah, no, I got it. So yeah, what Giara's talking about is the Crystal Impling drops the boots and the gloves, I think, of an outfit.
Yeah, the Thinker.
Yeah, the Thinker outfit, and the Impling Collector will reward you with the rest of that outfit when you complete the Codex. The other rewards were the choice between, let me get this right, triple XP for barehanded catching, no, for any catching, sorry, or double loot from barehanded catching. I think that's pretty much it. He might give you some XP as well, but I can't remember.
Thank you.
About the lore drops in the city, is the lore only gonna be about Seren, or also something about life in Privdinas prior to it reverting to the Sith? Is it gonna be about the development of the Eastern Kingdom and the civil war and the fight at the Well of Voyage? Because the Elven lore has many more things than just Seren.
So just sorry, can you say the first part of the question again?
So my question is if the lore is gonna to be more about Elven history and all the Eastern Kingdom and Prifdinas prior to it reverting and everything else connected to the elves.
Yeah, so there are some lore. There's lore in the form of books, which are, I believe, there's one for each of the Elven clans, and they focus on the history of those clans and kind of some of the key events in the history of those clans. So they're not focused on Seren. The Seren stuff is just from the memo crystals, so we're going to explore Elven culture a little bit more, definitely, yeah.
And what about the war at the Veloth Voyage?
I don't know if that's one of the topics covered, but I mean, now that we have the city, it's possibly something we can look at in the future.
Thank you.
How do you feel the extended player feedback with the things like the design documents? Do you think they went down well, and if you were going to revise any of it, what would you do? Like the whole process.
Well, it's the first time we've ever sort of done that sort of player-facing design document. We think it went pretty well. We maybe would like to probably leave it a little bit closer to the launch before releasing them, as they did go through quite a lot of changes. But those changes are documented on the forums, so they are sort of kept up to date in that respect. It would be really cool to do something like that again, yeah.
In regards to comp kit requirements for batch 2, will there be as many as in batch 1, and if so, can you give us a brief outlook of what they're going to be like and how long they're going to take us to complete?
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah, I plugged those in, but I can't remember what I added. Yeah, I remember there's, I think there's 4 or 5 different requirements in total that have been added in, but for the life of me, I've just completely blanked on what they are. Do you have anyone? Any ideas on that?
I could say one, and that would be to complete the Implink Codex to catch one of each type. I believe, well, we're looking to put the tracking for that in before the launch of batch 2. Fingers crossed it will be with the next update, but if not, it shouldn't be too much longer after. So you can get a head start on that one at least.
Yeah, that's going out on Monday, so you can get a head start on that from Monday onwards. Any other questions? Oh, come to you next.
With the agility skill in the Heffling clan, is it going to be confined in one area, or is it going to be extended all over the city?
I can start it, yeah. Okay, so it does stay within the Heffling clan, but it does go over their entire sort of section of the city.
It's doing rooftops, isn't it? You jump in rooftops or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how much you guys know. Yeah, how much of this are we allowed to talk about? Do you know?
It's a question for Dave.
Where's Mod Elfborn when you need him? Okay. What the hell? Okay.
Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Slight spoilers. Okay. So yeah, there's the massive monastery in the Heffing clan area, where you can do various activities. The agility course basically takes place over the roof and surrounding cliffs that's on. So you'll be sort of free running across parts of the mountain and.
Is it going to be better XP than Barbarian?
Pass. Don't know. Is that?
Still going through balancing.
But it's a lot less click intensive.
I just want the 120.
Hi, I'm slightly worried as to why this question hasn't been asked yet, but when might we expect to see the release of Batch 2? Have you got kind of an ETA on release?
It will be in November.
Anyone else? Come on, there must be more questions. I've got loads of questions for these guys, and I work with them.
Have you considered anything sort of like mini quests or sort of D&Ds for the Elf City to go with it? As potential for sort of lore or that kind of stuff?
The beautiful thing about the city is that you've now got this great open area and all of these new characters with the Lords and Ladies that maybe in the future they'll need a favour from you. Everyone else seems to. So we've got, a blank canvas almost in terms of like progressing a story forward. So I'm sure that Dave has got plenty of ideas ticking away in his head.
Who's next? Anyone? Okay, Mod Stacey, Mod Giara. What has been the funniest bug that you found on Batch 1?
I hate this question.
Sorry.
Probably the one Giara found where it was just some random player head that was absolutely massive. We had no idea what caused it.
I have no idea.
No, it was,
it
was really weird.
We wanted a screen so that we could show you things like this because it was amazing. You need to see it to believe it, but it was I was hoping you would mention that one. It was just this huge head in the middle of the, was it the mining area, did you say?
It looked like it was going to eat you.
It was very scary. Was that your
that was
funniest bug?
That was Ante's fault.
Did you put that head there, Ante?
I'm blaming you anyway. Can you?
I can explain you.
Ah, sweet. Awesome. You need the microphone.
I can shout. So it wasn't my fault. It's something what happens when we hand over game assets to the guys sitting next to me and Mr. Rowley.
It's not my fault.
Yeah. So basically, what happened there is they just we have these ports where we have to put in the right name for the models, and what happened with that NPC, for example, that it was using a chat head, that little chat head field where you have your heads, and basically that head got onto the top of the NPC, and in 3D space that head is about on the size of a house, like on a smaller house. Yeah, and basically imagine that on top of the head of one of the NPCs, and it was like kind of eating the area because it was just like a huge head. Yeah. Not my fault.
Any more questions? Okay, at the front.
With the elven character models, there are tiny emblems on their shoulders and their hips that differentiate them between the clans, and while that's helpful, it is also really small and sometimes hard to see at a quick glance. Could there be any plans to make it slightly more noticeable to differentiate the NPCs in the different clan areas?
You want to answer that, Alex?
I don't know. Yeah, I can give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go.
Okay, with regards to the icons, they probably won't change. They will stay the same, but we are looking at differentiating the different NPCs, like the farmers and the workers, I believe. They said that they all look more distinct from each other, so at least you can pinpoint between like the pickpocketing NPCs, the combat NPCs, and the utility ones, like like the farmers and things like that. Oh yeah, and the GE ones. Yeah, I forgot about those.
What were some of your inspirations for creating the Elf City?
Models Bond told us to.
I mean, in things like art style, mainly art style, but perhaps content choices, things like that.
Right, okay. Well, obviously it was all dictated. The wall of the city was already in game. Sorry, I'm not used to holding a microphone. It's never close enough. Yeah, the walls were already in game, so we had to take those as a cue to start with. But, they were less than good. So we had to sort of take a bit of that, and so as not to annoy you guys, get some of that sort of white crystal into it. And that's why the big It's like that big crystal shape thing at the entrance that is the same as it was before. No one has any idea where that came from or what it is. I asked around the office. I don't think the person that did it originally is even there anymore. Yeah, but then for the actual city itself, we wanted to branch out, which is why it's in this massive crater. We wanted to get that feeling of height, sort of like trees almost. So I always like to think of it a bit like a crystal Endor, because it's all the little walkways between massive trees. Yeah, it all sort of spiraled from this concept of having it as a suspended city. And yeah, I suppose it just sort of grew from there, if you'll excuse the pun.
Any other inspirations? I know we all gave feedback, and I know Mod Stacey's, it has to be pretty, doesn't it? Yes, it has to be very pretty, and this is why
with lots of butterflies.
Sorry?
With lots of butterflies.
Lots of butterflies. Okay, any more questions?
Why isn't Prifddinas on the world map?
What was it? Why isn't Prifddinas on the world map? Was that the question? Because, well, if you haven't completed the Elf, is it part 3 quest? I can't remember what it's called. Plague's End. That's it. If you haven't completed it, then the city hasn't regrown. So we don't want any spoilers for players that haven't done that bit of content. So obviously they can look online and see a map of the city, but it would kind of break the immersion a bit if they could see it on the world map.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So with a lot of the factions that are within the Elf City, as it is, are there any plans to make it so you are determined for one of them? So if you, say, do more of a certain skill within that city, gain extra boosts, and maybe join that faction as such?
I mean, you can show your appreciation for each clan by wearing the title and the cape that you have. We wanted to use the voice of Saren effect moves around, and I mean, I talk about having 2. Yeah. In batch 2, there will be a voice of Saren effect in 2 different clans rather than just the one. And it will be in various different places. But in terms of like focusing your skills in one clan and then getting better rewards from that, I don't think there's any plans to do something like that at the moment.
Cool. Okay, silly question for all of you. Which is your favourite clan and why? Whether it's for a lore reason or just because, you know, it's pretty.
Irewith, because that's the slaying clan and I like slaying.
Oh, Mod Stacey loves slaying, don't you?
Wow, okay. Part of me wants to say Amlod, because it's my favourite of the icons, of the clan logos. But it's probably Traherne, because they're all about hard work and graft, and that's pretty much what this project's been for me.
Aww.
I think it's Amlod, Cruis, Traherne, Melee.
Likes them all.
No, I would say Amlod and Cruis. Amlod because I got the design brief for just the head of the clan for Lord Amlod, and I just like to design figures with antlers and spiky silhouette, spiky details, and just animal parts. You know, it's just a nice figure, and I kind of enjoyed it the most, creating that guy. And the other one, Lord Cruis, I think he's quite different from anything what you have seen in there. I think like half tree, half elf, and yeah, I think they are quite interesting figures, like as design goes. So I think I enjoyed them the most. And the old lady Traherne with the exoskeleton, that was my another favorite. And yeah, with her we well, I wanted to go quite crazy, and the inspiration again came from the Alien movies. So I don't know if you remember. I don't know which Alien movie was that, but Ripley is fighting with one of the aliens. Maybe it was the Queen. I can't remember. But she's in that power lifter, big machine.
Yeah, that's Aliens. The second one.
Yeah, and that was the basic idea, that we could maybe make a gigantic mech suit for her, and she could be just in there and then do stuff, move mountains. And yeah, we had to tone them down a little bit. Yeah, but that was quite entertaining as well, because first I was told that she's very old, very close to death. And yeah, she still, gets around in this suit, and yeah, I just wanted to go crazy, and yeah, it was quite a bit of challenge. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'd have to be slightly boring myself and say Melia, largely because it's the only clan I've really had a chance to work on. It's since I joined the Elf Retention 2 team, I've just been completely smashed with that. There's just so much content in it that it's taking all of my time out. I've not even got to properly play the Heifen, Amlord, and all of the other clans so far to have feedback on those. So maybe that will change once I get more time to look over those.
I think Mod Rowley and Mod Giara, you haven't answered that one yet?
I'd have to agree with Mod Stacey and say the Iworth. Just.
Mine's the Heifen clan. We had this agility and prayer combination put together, and the design was like struggling in ways to think of how these skills really relate to each other, and they've gone for this really cool like Shaolin monk type of thing with like the sort of the crazy agility, but also very spiritual about it. So yeah, definitely those guys.
Nice. Okay, we're nearly done, guys. Oh, sorry. We're nearly done. Has anybody got any more questions? Just if you've got something you want to ask, make sure you ask it.
Just two. First is for the herbal or combination potions. Will they give experience, and will the experience be good?
Yes, they will give experience. It's not entirely finalised in balancing yet. It's still one of the things that needs a proper final pass. But at the moment, aside from combinations which use overloads, I've set the experience as 75% of the XP of creating the previous potions, which are the ingredients to it. So it should still be worthwhile to do regular herb lore, but still rewarding to make the combination potions.
Okay. And secondly, in the design documents, we were shown 9 capes rather than 8 capes. I was wondering if there was any information on what the 9th cape was.
Anyone good for that one?
It's going to be a combination cape. If you buy all 8 clans, you'll be able to combine it, and then you'll get an added bonus effect to it.
One last question. Who's it going to be?
It was mentioned at one point that the area of Tiranman, or the forest outside the city, would be reworked to the modern standards that the city now has. Is there any plans for that to be an eventual update?
There's no plans at the moment for that. We did a bit of a sort of tarting up of a lot of it beforehand. Letio obviously got a fairly substantial rework, and we did sort of focus on the what are the camps called? Tyrus camp and the other elf camp that's just outside the cities, the other Iworth camp. But yeah, just wasn't enough time to do the whole forest. So obviously I'd really like to do it at some point, especially the mountains that separate the forest from the rest of the world. I know you had a real problem with that. But yeah, one day, maybe, hopefully.
Cool. All right, guys, thank you very much for coming. Please give a big thank you to the Elf City team. Woo!